Chapter 20. As soon as I stepped off the bus at Lake Stevenson Park, I immediately regretted that decision.
Them up! Lock them up! Lock them up!
Real men swing real dicks. This feminization trans bullshit is a goddamn plot by those fags in Hollywood to emasculate men and replace us. Hey, I'm just asking questions, man. I don't know the answers, and it's not like it's a federal fucking crime to just ask questions, right? So listen, what are the Muslims doing here, right? Think about it. What's so wrong about being white and proud? I refuse to let them say I'm wrong and somehow guilty just because of the color of my skin. That's the real racism. Evening clouds were turning pink as the sun began to set, and I decided it was cosmically appropriate. Pink, a watered-down shade of red. Red, the color of hate. The sons of the Golden Pisser, angry, hateful assholes propped up and normalized by an orange turd and desperate to snuff out all other colors before the watered-down pink pussies themselves get snuffed out by the merciless wheel of time. History may be more generous, but there was no denying that the city of St. Charles had a Nazi problem in the here and now. Lake Stevenson Park was packed. The bus stop ushered riders into a park that spanned dozens of acres, encircling the edge of Lake Stevenson. A large bandshell sat near the water with massive speaker arrays, pumping out god-awful alt-right power ballads, battle cries, and bullshit.
Fucking Antifa commie cunts, I'm just trying to keep our side of the park clean, organized, and under control. If just being here pushes those radical fucks to commit acts of violence against us, we are not afraid to defend ourselves.
Of course it's my body, my choice. The government can't tell me jack shit, and if they try, I'm a jack shit at the goddamn fucking White House. They're eating babies, you know. They're handing out abortions like it's the new look for summer, aborting babies, killing children, and eating fetuses. The lasers would totally reach because they faked all of it. That fat fuck who did The Shining, he directed the whole fucking thing. God, Jesus, bless our brothers as they spread your word and guide our hands as we work to change the hearts of the Jews, Arabs, Muslims. Trucks of 3 essential varieties had jumped the curb and parked throughout the rally, acting as base camps of activity. There were big trucks because, well, obviously. Then there were even bigger trucks, lifted trucks, trucks with massive off-road tires, and trucks that practically announced the owner had a microscopic cock that required an industrial-grade magnifying glass and nano tweezers just to take a piss. Almost all the trucks sported flags, and while the flags varied in color and design, most seemed to be as large as the truck they were attached to. Some of the flags hung flaccid in the evening air, while others flapped ostentatiously in the breeze of battery-powered shop fans hauled to the rally by thoughtful racists eager to show their allegiance to the Southern Confederacy, All Lives Matter, Blue Lives Matter, Orange Turds, Don't Tread on Me, and the Sons of the Golden Future. Call it whatever you want. Spill all the white paint the world has to offer until it's covered, drowned, and barely recognizable. A Nazi is a goddamn fucking worthless scum of the earth Nazi. The sun's flag was peppered throughout the park at a much higher frequency than the others. There were large and small billowing sheets, embroidered patches, and tasteless armbands. The logo remained consistent, so someone in the organization was staying on top of their branding. Thank the fucking lord of racists. It wouldn't surprise me if they hash-plugged a butt tag for the rally, or whatever these fucks do on their phones. The logo was the same 3 dots set inside a circle, the same shit I had seen as a tattoo on the back of so many heads. On the flags, the larger circle was depicted as a yellow sun. Sprinkled among the symbols representing the mainstreaming of white rage was the granddaddy of them all. The swastikas were on flags, banners, and in some cases, armbands strapped to human shit stains dressed in full SS regalia. Yeah, the city of St. Charles definitely had a Nazi problem. Clustered around the truck islands were barbecue trailers and canopies where vendors sold honest-to-God hate merch. Oh, did you forget your swastika armband? $10, and just think of all the memories. Beer and liquor looked like it was flowing freely. Oh, and those fucking tiki torches. So many fucking tiki torches.
It is called freedom of speech for a reason. Just hanging out with like-minded folks having a drink. I can't control how other people act. I'm just here, and I can tell you, I don't have a lick of hate in my heart or the slightest notion of violence in my head. But if you ask me, those counter-protesting Antifa snowflakes are fucking lucky we are not beating the ever-loving shit out of their ignorant fucking brains.
Yo, if you think that's big, you gotta check out the gear in my truck. Fully auto bump stock fucking laser sights.
I say fuck all the parties because even the GOP don't represent me. I'm a goddamn conservative and proud of it. No. Western chauvinist, not male chauvinist. Do you even know what that word means? No, look, let me explain because you do not know how wrong you are, and I know you're gonna thank me.
My stomach twisted, and my resting fuck you face went sour, if that was even possible, as I took in the sheer volume of people who showed up to this hate parade. I wouldn't have ever believed it if I wasn't staring at it with my own eyes. Worse still was how normalized, institutionalized, and celebrated it all was. Without realizing it, I had drawn the flask of rum to my lips and slowly poured the last of the liquid courage down my throat.
Mr. Owens.
I pivoted in time to see Beckett Miller scurrying up to me. His eyes were big behind his glasses, and his brows were pulled together like he needed to take a shit. He clutched a brown paper lunch sack so tightly, his knuckles were white.
When I heard what happened at the library with the bus attack, I wasn't sure you'd still...
Yeah, I'm here, I said flatly, cutting him off. With an awkward thrust, Beckett offered me the paper sack.
Well, like I said, it's not much, but I hope it's enough.
I peeked in the bag and saw a handful of bundled $100 bills. That was a whole lot of booze money, and it represented a whole lot of blissful isolation, peace, and some goddamn quiet. I just had to make it through the night before I could appreciate any of it. You know, I said slowly, tucking the cash away and buttoning the coat pocket for safekeeping. People usually like to pay the balance after the job is complete. Beckett no longer looked like he needed to take a shit, and instead looked like he just shit his pants.
Sorry, I just...
Fucking kids. I waved it off. Don't worry about it. Means you trust me. That's good. The kid was nodding rapidly and turned to face the gathered racist masses.
Right, okay, so, this is it. The Suns have their base camp set up just beyond the bandshell.
Beckett pointed to the stage with a massive speaker arrays.
They're gonna have this whole lineup of speakers tonight, and I've heard it's supposed to end with a surprise keynote address by Peter.
I raised an eyebrow at him. That's a name I've heard a lot today. What can you tell me about him? Beckett shrugged.
I don't know, well, before I got involved with the Suns, there was some kind of, power void, I guess. Peter was the person who stepped in and basically took charge.
And nobody challenged him.
Challenged him?
Beckett repeated with a small scoff.
I don't think anybody wanted to challenge him. He was too enigmatic, too...
Beckett searched for the words.
He represented everything these guys wanted to be, or at least that's what he made them think. But, yeah, I mean, if you're asking why someone didn't challenge his leadership, well, you clearly haven't met Peter.
No, not yet I hadn't. But I found myself looking forward to the introduction, especially the opportunity to introduce my fists to Peter's face.
But anyway, their base camp is behind the bandshell, and Peter should be back there.
Beckett continued.
Corey's been a well, I guess a devout follower of Peter, and yes, I know how that sounds.
An anxious hand rubbed his eyebrow.
But if she's anywhere in this mess, she's with him.
I nodded. Find Peter, find the girl. And when I find Peter, maybe I could have a few private words with him. You know, find out why today of all days had been designated shit all over Abe Owens Day.
We just have to get behind the bandshell,
Beckett said, quietly underlining the shitty part. Any other day, it would have been a literal stroll in the park. Today, Nazis. So many fucking Nazis. And they were armed to the teeth, obsessed with kill counts, and desperate for any reason to start throwing punches. But, yeah, it's really the counter-protesters you need to be on the lookout for. Beckett pointed to the other end of the park, where a modest gathering was protesting against the Sons of the Golden Future. They waved banners proclaiming, "Down with fascism, Nazis not welcome here," and swastikas crossed out with blood-red paint. If they stay on their side of the park, it should be fine, Beckett said. But if someone crosses the line, well, I guess I don't have to tell you it's a friggin' tinderbox out here. Maybe one day I'd be able to laugh at the absurd irony of being wary of the anti-fascist, non-violent protesters as I carved a path through a hornet's nest of hateful, trigger-happy, Nazi-worshipping nutjobs. One day. I'd like to think I'd chuckle at the memory. If I even made it through the night, that is. Mr. Owens? I realized I had been frowning intently and staring blankly for a moment too long. I looked at the kid, and his face twitched, that telltale muscle spasmed around his eye. He looked a lot younger than he had just this morning. We should get going then, right? Beckett asked, his voice betraying an increasing nervousness while his hands twisted over each other. Yeah, I nodded. Stay close. If you lose me, find a place to stay put, and wait for me to find you. Another rapid nod, and we both turned to face the rally. Beckett started muttering something to himself, probably psyching himself up. I can do this, we can do this, I can do this, we can... He looked at me again, and those eyes went big. We can do this, right? Oh, fuck, kid. Yeah, sure, I lied. Why not? We stepped into the rally, pushing forward into the crowd of Nazis. So many goddamn fucking Nazis.